What's up YouTube, this is Mr. Gaming for Fun coming at you with another first place DDD deck profile. This time I changed it up a bit. I took some cards out from the last time, and I want to say this one focuses more on fusing as fast as possible to end up just winning the duel. I do some synchros, but more than anything, just fusing is where it really starts off with, and then everything else, it just kind of happens. And thankfully with the latest structure deck, we got a new generic Link 2, which that's one of the guys I'm using in the deck, and it's a really good addition. That one I suggest highly picking up and holding on to a play set, because you can't go wrong with it. So let's get into this deck profile, shall we? We're going to start off with 3 Kepler. Then you got him for your searching. Go straight into finding any of the contracts you need, and then after that you got your basic Swirl and Necro Slime package, and then 3 Lamia, and that's pretty much standard with the lower levels. I did bump Ghost down to 2, and then let's see, Night Howl I took out, and a few of the other guys, just because with Ghost I really like him for later plays with anything in the grave. Let's say I have Leonidas or Ragnarok or Thomas, or even Doom King Armageddon, just any of those guys, or even like let's see, a Kepler or a Lamia or even a Necro. Just ditch or pitch another one into the grave just to extend those plays. Then we've got 3 Ragnarok, 3 Leonidas. He's still my favorite, because anytime I'm in a pinch, he comes out on top, and he's like my Dark Magician. He's my version of the Dark Magician. Always helps me out when I'm in trouble, and I've never done anything wrong, especially when I just have a contract on the field. And I really enjoy playing 3, because most of the time during turn 2 I end up drawing him, and I can special summon him thanks to taking damage from that contract. So he really does come in handy. I don't think I'll ever bump him down to 2. He's that good for me. Other people, they don't like him, but that's what I like about this game. You can play the deck any way you want. Works really well, and that's the fun of it. After that, I'm running 2 Doom King Armageddon and 2 Savant Thomas, just to bring out bigger guys. With Thomas going to the only Exceed I'm playing, and that's yugioh, and that's the only reason they're in there. If I had to choose, I would probably cut them out and focus on the fusion side of it more, but I like yugioh enough to keep it like that. And I rarely see these guys. I think I saw Thomas 2 of the games that I played, and more than anything, it was using the fusions and then going into the synchros. After that, I'm playing 3 Ash Blossom. I ended up pulling an Ash Blossom for my first pack of Shadows of Valhalla, and I bought the other 2 singles before the tournament, and I used them. The other 2 I traded to a buddy of mine who I know needed Ash Blossoms, and they had some other cards that I needed, so I gotta build up my collection more thanks to that. So, but I do plan on getting 2 more, so 3 Ash Blossom. In the first game I played, I had Ash Blossom in the starting hand, which I really enjoyed. That was nice. After these monsters, then the rest of it is just spell cards. It's 3 Gate. This one you want to get if your hands are bricky and crap and you just need something. If you have that Kepler in hand, or if you can draw it somehow using the draw power in this deck. Then 2 Swamp King. Like I said, this is like a fusion based version where it wants to fuse more than anything, and it really does the job. I really do enjoy, especially when the opponent tries to to wait for me to exceed or link or do all these other plays, and then I end up fusing with the swirl slimes or necro, and then when they think I'm not using those guys, I can also use this one to fuse. And I've had some people try to argue saying that you cannot summon with this because it's a spell, and if they activate, like, let's say Solemn Warning, the ruling on that is it's already face up on the field, so it's not really, I think the word was activating. So it's like the card doesn't activate because it's already face up. So you are able to special summon and get around Solemn Warning. Oh, the best way I could think of is like, it's got to be an inherent summon. The best example was, if it's something like Cyber Dragon, where it just automatically happens. But something like this, it bypasses that. So that's what I really like about some of these cards. They get around certain things that people want to play, and makes me happy. After that, we've got your draw power, which 2 or 3 Allure Darkness and 1 Upstart Goblin. The reason I'm still running the 2 Ghosts is I'll usually banish like Doom King if I draw it, or Leonidas. And when I go for Ghost, when I fuse with it and banish it by Swamp King or Necro, I can recover that card from the banish zone and put it in my graveyard. And then that can set up more plays. I can special summon it with Genghis or Monster Reborn, or I can refuse with it with Necro. So it works really well. Then playing 1 Foolish Burial, playing 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Regeki. For the deck, now that I traded off those 2 Ash Blossoms, in the meantime, I am going to be running Kepler, or not Kepler, sorry, what's his name? Copernicus, the guy who mills when he's summoned. So I'll be running him just to have more plays. But other than that, when I get 2 more Ash Blossoms, I'll be putting those back in the deck, and maybe I'll just keep the Copernicus if it's worth keeping in there for me. Just, it depends on my playstyle, how I want to keep it. After that, we've got the extra deck, which we've got 2 Genghis. Really great. One thing Konami needs to do is we need High King Genghis. I do not know why they want to hold off on giving us cards that we desperately need to play. Or, well, cards that I want to play. I'm not desperate, but cards that I like. It's like, I'd like to get this, I'd like to get High King Genghis, and I'd like to get Doom King Armageddon. And I love playing Fluffles, so where's Patchwork? We're never going to get those by the time we need them. And when they do come back, they'll probably be like secrets or something, and Konami will find a way to screw us over after getting them publicly in the TCG. After those 2, I've got 2 Oracles, which Oracle's still a great guy. I found a few people who play DDD on the side and at my locals, and a few of them that play DDD said that they still love Leonidas and Oracle, and I was really happy to hear that. There was like one guy that said Leonidas was trash, and he wished he could get all the copies and just light them on fire, and I don't know why. There's just people that really hate certain cards, and it doesn't make sense. Then after that, I've got the 1 Beowulf, and I actually threw in Wave Oblivion King Caesar, the big guy, just for extra damage if I needed to do it. Usually I would just sit with Beowulf, pop the back row, and go in for the kill with that piercing damage. But if I really wanted to, I could make this guy. And when I played, I think I made him twice. So I made him more than 7th Thomas going into Kali Yuga, so he was worth keeping. After that, I've got Synchros, which we've got the 1 Alexander, just for plays. There's a play I did first turn involving a starting hand of Contract of the Gate, Lamia, Swirl Slime, Ragnarok, and then it was Kepler, I believe. And with that hand, I was able to make a first turn board of Siegfried, Kali Yuga, and the generic Link 2. And it was one of the things I liked was making this guy and going into Siegfried. I would have gone into Crystal Wing, but since I was more worried about the opponent with spells and traps, I wanted to make sure that that they couldn't do anything to my guys with spells and traps. Talking about Siegfried, we got him right here. The deck, the tuners are dark, and so it's really easy to make this guy Beals. Still love this guy, one of the best synchros in the game. Definitely one of my favorites. Put him in like the top 3. After that, I've got Crystal Wing, and this is my French copy. I got an English one I hold off to the side, kind of like put it as a token. But I like playing the French one. It's a lot more bluer than the English one, and on top of that, it's French. I like getting foreign cards. Then for the last 2 synchros, you got Gus King Alexander, just for that special summoning and boosting him up to 3,000 or 6,000. You boost him an extra 3,000 if there's at least 3 or more DDD monsters on the field. That includes your opponent's side. I had a DDD mirror match, and the guy made it where it was using a bunch of new cards. Like, he played Summon Sorceress, and this was after my turn. I put Swirl Slime in my like my 4th zone over here. He brought Summon Sorceress here, tried to use her first effect, but because I filled up that zone, he wasn't able to, and he got really salty because of it. Just because he couldn't do the play he wanted to. And he ended up scooping, and it was still a 2-0 win for me. I was still happy about that. After that, last synchro, sorry about that, just talking your ear off. Bright King Armageddon right here. Just can't target guys. I know last time I was doing like the Pendulum Exceed instead of this because I want to protect my pendulums. But I do like, I had some input on the comments and some people talking. It's like the Exceed only protects pendulum monsters, and this guy protects all of them. So I will say thank you to everyone that pointed that out. It definitely helps. I attacked with this into a game, and the guy was trying to activate Magical Cylinder, but Magical Cylinder targets, which this guy prevents. So that was something that I got a kick out of when we were debating on that. Then after the synchros, we've got the Exceed, which just the one Don King Kali Yuga. Great card. I made him first turn just to make sure the opponent couldn't set spells or traps, and I had Siegfried to protect my guy just in case there was a Regeki or a Dark Hole. And he came in really handy against a Dark Magician player I played. And then for the last 2 cards, I'm running Wee Witch. It doesn't happen often just because I usually get a first turn board of like Genghis with like Lamia or Kepler or something, and I can't really go into her with it because she needs dark monsters. But when I'm able to, like, I can go into Oracle and Kepler into this. And that extra 500 is great. It's awesome to have like a Genghis at 2500 or not a Genghis, sorry, an Oracle at 33. My brain's not working. And it's awesome to have like Dragon King Beowulf or Doom King Armageddon, the 3000 beater pendulum. Both of them at 3500. I actually had her on like a second game I played against someone. This one and Beowulf for 3500 piercing damage, and they had I don't remember the monster, but I know it had 0 attack, and they just took that damage. The last Link monster, or sorry, the last card in the extra deck is that generic Link 2 from the new structure deck. This one works really well, and I'd highly recommend it for anyone that is playing a deck that they don't usually link, and that they let's say you're playing some rogue deck or heroes or whatever. this is something that I'd highly recommend picking up, just because it's really easy to swarm. You can make this and then you abuse the 2 zones it has. It works really well. And then for the side deck, I'm running 3 Denko Sekas, just to make sure the opponent can't do stuff if, let's say they're playing like Sky Striker, or they're a Paleozoic deck, because I can fuse with monster effects, so I don't have to worry too much about the spells. Then I'm doing one Ghost and 1 Thomas, just to fill up that place set in the deck in case I want to try to spam out the other monsters and get out everything else. I probably should throw in more Exceed monsters if I'm going for the rank 8 build, but usually it's summon the fusions, get 1 Thomas, get the other monster, and summon Kali Yuga, so it doesn't really focus on exceeding as much. Then for the for the spells, I've got Soul Charge, Twin Twister, and that's just to recover and clear back row. And then for the traps, I've got Anti-Spell Fragrance, do the Denko lock so they can play any back row. And then Denko is thankfully 1700, so can probably hold its own more often than not. Then 2 Dark Contract of the Witch and 1 Dark Contract of Errors. If the opponent's playing a trap heavy deck, use Errors to negate every turn. And Dark Contract of the Witch is a Regeki break, just ditch a DD or a Dark Contract in your hand and pop something. And what's really nice is when the Dark Contract is activated on the opponent's turn, your Fiend type monsters, that includes, like, I remember having Master King Archfiend in the deck, and he was at 3,000 thanks to that. It gives your Fiend types an extra 1,000 during the opponent's turn. When I first play tested this deck, I went up against a Blue Eyes player, and I remember setting 3 Dark Contracts of the Witch with a Kepler on my field. That was all I had. And he summoned a Blue Eyes special summon, you know, just swarming with it using like Sage or Maiden with Eyes of Blue. But he tried to crash into this, and this was pre-Master Rule 4, so all he did was he tried to do that, realized that Witch put my guy to 3,000. 3 Witches made Kepler 3k, and then he tried to make a giant board with like a bunch of Exceed Exceed and Fusions. But that one was one of my favorite duels, and that's what made me really want to play DDD more, just because of the possibilities with it. Works really well, and it's one of my favorite decks. I would put it in the top 3. And then to finish off the side deck is 2 more Link monsters, 1 more Wee Witch, and 1 Proxy Dragon. And that's just to add more Link monsters, just to make more spaces. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and like, comment, subscribe for more videos, and I shall see you later.